another episode of Why Won't You Date Me, a podcast where me, Nicole Byer, was trying to figure out why I was so single, even though you could come on a pancake and tell me it's butter. My guest today is a writer, comedian, and co-host of Smith Sisters Live, which is a little bit of a tongue twister for me, streaming on SiriusXM's Radio Andy. It's Mariah Smith!
Hi.
Mariah, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Listen, thriving, feeling good.
I mean, you look stunning.
Thank you.
Everything's hitting. I'm so happy.
Thank you so much.
Nails are great.
Thank you. I'm wearing a sweatshirt that says Hog Wild.
There we go. What is that from? That looks familiar, that character.
I don't know. I've been talking about Depop.
Yeah, I just started listening on Depop.
I love Depop.
I just got a notification that my third item sold, and I got chills.
Oh.
So you trust Depop?
I do. I love Depop. It's great. I find so many fabulous things on it.
Oh my God. Okay.
Like weird little kitschy things, and it's all really cheap.
It's so cheap, which kind of makes me sad as a seller, because they'll be like, things like this similar items I paid $300 for, $10. I'm like, but I don't need it. So
yeah, the thing I like about it is people. So like, I feel like a lot of like vintage resellers are like, I know you want it, so it's going to be $150. On Depop, they're like, I don't know, $2,
like
$6.
why not?
When
I was in Portland once, for my birthday, and I don't know why, I was like, I need this 50-cent G Unit authentic concert tee. It was from the last concert. I've never been to a 50-cent concert.
Sure.
I don't know a song from that album. $250, I almost bought it. Because I said, well, this is authentic. They said it's period accurate. They were like, this is something that you can't get. And I said, well, if I can't get it, I should pay $250.
That's how I feel all the time.
I'm trying to break that.
But here's the thing. You can go on eBay and find the exact thing for cheaper.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to get into eBay now, too. Because like that, I feel like I've really sort of done myself a disservice by not letting that in earlier. And so I'm really trying to correct my ways.
I fucking love eBay. I love shopping online.
Me too. It's my biggest kryptonite.
Yes.
Truly my biggest.
And I keep buying things.
Do you have like a stock room in your house or like a place where like there are just boxes or things you bought that you...
Yes.
Okay, me too. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
But I have an assistant. Her name's Lindsay. She's really great. So I try to stay on top of being like, hey, Lindsay, can you return this for me? Which is like, that's what you're using your assistant for?
I would hire someone just to do that.
It is very nice.
Because when you don't do a return, then you have the thing. And then you're just like,
what do I do with this? Ugh. Mariah.
Yes.
Are you single? Dating?
Very single.
Okay.
Very single.
All right. So what are you looking for in a partner? And are you looking?
I am. I am. I'm looking for someone. So I've been single for a while, and I'm in my late 20s to early to mid 30s.
We're all 20s.
Yeah, and I am like, I'm very independent. I can do anything I want. I can get anything I want for myself. So I'm like, I want someone who can fit into that, who's also independent themselves, but also can like do some of those things for me, like returns, not like an assistant, but someone who'll be like, my love language is gifting. And so I love gifting things to people. So someone who loves to receive and someone who also will return things I've gifted to myself. Okay.
All right. I like that. You're like, fuck me and do my return.
Thank you. Thank you. But someone just like vibey. People are weird here in LA. Someone who doesn't have a personality the size of a peanut and who actually knows how to talk and make me laugh and also sit with me on the couch and shut up and watch NCIS.
Oh, you're an NCIS gal.
Oh, NCIS, SVU, Tracker, Elsbeth, Chicago Med.
What's Tracker?
It's on CBS. It's the #1 CBS procedural. It's with Justin Hartley.
Oh.
It's season 2. It's very good.
Okay.
Very good. He's a rewardist. He like goes hunting for people. Not hunting. He finds people.
A rewardist?
Yeah.
Like a bounty hunter?
Yes. Yes.
I like that you said a rewardist.
That's the language of the show. That's the language of the show. Yes. That's the language of the show. I'm just living in the world.
I love that for you.
Thank you.
Are you on the apps, Mariah?
I am on the apps. I am on Raya and Hinge.
Okay.
I delete them constantly.
I know that life.
hate them. And I just saw this TikTok woman who was like I think she's a dating coach or whatever, but she posted at the end of last year, she was like, this is what you need to find a person in 2024. I didn't see this TikTok till a week ago.
Sure.
She's like, delete the apps, and not because it, is something for your mental health. She was like, she used to work in apps. She said, delete it because they prioritize new users. So then when you relog on, she's like, don't pause your account. Don't just like say I'm taking a break. Delete it fully. And then come back as a new user, same info, whatever, and you'll have better options.
Has that worked for you?
No. Not yet. I mean,
you're like, I just did it yesterday.
Well, guess what? I delete it at least once a month, and I still have some of the same fools coming through.
And how do people approach you? Or are you approaching the people?
This is, okay, I'm going to admit this. And I was telling my friends this the other day. Because I'm a Black woman who's not a stick figure on these apps, it's like tumbleweeds. And then if it's not a tumbleweed, it's someone who looks like a tumbleweed.
Okay.
So I'm trying to fix that. And it could be, I know that in my like little responses, I'm not putting like, I can't wait to find the love of my life and start everything together. Da, 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 da. It's just like, I want you to like what I like and be normal.
Yes.
And liberal. Like, that's basically it.
That is truly just like the bare minimum.
The bar's on the floor.
Yes. I mean, anybody who's like, I'm looking for the love of my life, to me, that's kind of a red flag.
A complete
Because I feel
red
like,
flag.
yes, we're all here looking. I mean, you're either looking for the love of your life or you're just looking to fuck.
And truly the thing is, it's like, you don't have to put either one of those out there because I'll know within the first message.
I do think you should say just looking to fuck. I think if that's what you're looking for, say it.
But I want the love of my life.
Then that means you get to swipe no on the person who's like, I'm just here to fuck.
Yeah, true.
Do you know what I mean?
True.
I think that's the one thing.
Yeah.
Because I can just assume that you're on a dating app to date to find somebody.
Yes, right. Like
that's just a base assumption.
Exactly. To find somebody to do whatever it is it's like literally just finding a person, then you can decide what the purpose is for later.
Yes. But when you're like, I don't know what I'm looking for. I'm like, what do you mean? Old man, what do you mean?
What do you mean?
You don't know what you're looking for. If you're looking to fuck, say it.
And those men are.
But you have to say it so I can go, no, thank you. I don't want to just fuck.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. But they like to trick you and then get in your messages, then ask you a real question. Then they're just like, so what are you wearing? And it's like,
no one's ever been like, what are you wearing?
Okay. Also during the pandemic, there was this woman who did like, I was trying to think about it or like find info about it the other day, this matchmaking service for like singles at home. And she was like, I think you just sent her your Instagram or something. I can't remember, but it was like going around. And so I was like, what am I doing? So I did it.
Ooh.
I matched with this guy. He was around my age. He seemed like, he seemed good because he was going to a protest. And I was like, oh, and he was a white guy. And I was like, oh man, he's in the thick of it. I had lost my mind.
Sure.
And then he was like, after we were talking about like Black Lives Matter, whatever. And then he was like, I'm so hard right now. Huh? And so I said,
he was like, racial equality makes me horny.
I was like,
marching in the streets with my Black sisters makes me want to come.
I truly was blown away. I said, sir. And for me, I'm like, I don't know what to do now with this information because I don't want to engage you, but I also want to see what your end goal is besides.
I probably would have been like, and what is your end goal with all this? Yeah.
Like, and what is the purpose?
Is role playing like us in the street? Like just before bed with signs? And then like you fuck me later?
I mean, honestly. Like you want someone then to come in with flares and that's going to do it?
I have the tear gas. And he's like, and I'm going to come. Wait, that is so wild.
And then he sent me photos of him in women's lingerie the next day in jeans. He said he loved to wear that as well. Which I'll go for it. But we had stopped talking at that point.
Also, I probably would have revealed I liked women's lingerie before I said protesting makes me hard.
Yeah. Yeah. Because so that's why these things are backwards in communication. Yeah. Things are backwards.
That's tough. want to take a quick break to talk about the sponsor of this episode, OneSkin. Listen, did you know the skin around your eyes is way more delicate than anywhere on your face? It's prone to wrinkles, fine lines, and damages faster. So OneSkin created OS1 Eye specifically to take care of that sensitive area. OS1 Eye has the highest concentration of OneSkin's proprietary OS1 peptide, the first ingredient scientifically proven to reverse your skin's biological age. OS1 Eye improves elasticity, hydration, and smooths fine lines, making your eye area look and feel younger. So if you're ready to start giving your skin the care it deserves, try OS1 Eye or any of OneSkin's moisturizers, cleansers, or sunscreens. Founded by and led by an all-woman team of skin longevity scientists, OneSkin is redefining the aging process with the proprietary OS1 peptide, the first ingredient proven to help skin look and feel and behave like its younger self. Get 15% off with code DATEME at oneskin.co. That's 15% off oneskin.co with code DATEME. After your purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support my show and tell them that I sent you. Invest in your health and longevity of your skin with OneSkin. Your future self will thank you. This podcast is brought to you by SquareSpace. Have you been thinking about putting your ideas online, starting that podcast you've been talking about, or finally launching your business? Well, SquareSpace is the easiest way to do it. Here's what's great. SquareSpace quickly gets you a customized website. You just answer a few simple questions about your industry, your goals, and even your personality. And SquareSpace does the rest. They'll give you professional and personalized design recommendations that make your site look amazing right from the jump. Plus, they've got tons of gorgeous templates that you can choose from if you prefer to do your own thing. You can set up appointment scheduling right on your site so your clients can easily book consultations or events and pay you right away. No more chasing down payments. Everything's organized and professional, just the way you want it. Ready to get started? Head to squarespace.com/dateme for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, use offer code DATEME to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. What's one of the worst dates you've been on?
Okay. The worst date that I have ever been on, and I can't believe I went to 3 locations with this person. I had met someone at an event. It was like an industry thing. And he was the brother of someone. And throughout this party, we had an amazing night. Like my sisters were there, his family was there. Truly by the end of the night, and it was one of those parties that didn't end until like 4 a.m.
Okay.
We were like, we've met each other's families. We've done this. Like we thought we were in love. I was truly like, this is the person I'm going to marry.
Okay.
So then his brother told a family member of mine, they were like, my brother loves, Mariah. Like he's like, they're going to be together, da, da, da. And we hadn't gone on our first date yet. And he was, first red flag is he was using WhatsApp. He was WhatsApping me.
But why is that a red flag?
Because he has an Android.
Okay.
I truly.
Okay.
Do you have an Android?
No, I have an iPhone.
Okay, there we go.
But I will say, when they have an Android, I do like WhatsApp.
I hate WhatsApp.
Really?
I hate it.
I like WhatsApp better than the green.
But the WhatsApp is the green personified for me.
But you can switch the settings.
But
so mine are purple.
If you have to use WhatsApp, your phone doesn't work without Wi-Fi. So what are we doing? I don't get it.
Okay.
I hate it. And so he was messaging me on WhatsApp and we were like planning our date. At the time, I was vegan. He was also vegan. And so we went to this vegan restaurant for our date. And this is when he had told me already that he wanted to marry me and was like waiting for the right time to propose, basically.
Whoa. So at this event, he was like, I want to marry you.
Yes, then after.
And you said, this is great. Let's go on a date.
Yeah, I was 20-something, lost in it.
Okay.
I thought.
I get it.
Again,
lost in the sauce.
Love of my life.
All right.
It, like, I think at this event, we were like making out, all this. Like, it was just, it felt like a fairy tale.
Okay.
And so we went to this restaurant and like things were going okay until he had told me that he had run into some legal trouble. And it was for something like crazy. And I was like, okay, not too bad. It wasn't like a violent offense. So I was like, this is fine. So he then was like, let's go to this bar near my apartment. And it's a bar I like, so it was near where I lived. We get a cab. He gets the Uber and it's under someone else's name, but someone's name of note. And I was like, why are you using this person's name as your like Uber? Again, didn't think twice about it. We're at this bar, second location. We're at this bar and we're just drinking. And I was like, so what's your favorite thing? And he was like, we were talking about work. And I was like, what's your favorite thing, that you do in your job? Like all that. And he said, firing people. And I was like, oh.
Firing people?
Yes. Firing people was his favorite thing. And I'm like, huh, that's tricky.
Yeah.
That's interesting. And like, it was just, and that was the least offensive thing he said during that time.
Okay.
Again, he was like, I have a great view from my apartment. Do you want to come over? And I'm like, sure. At this point, I already knew. I was like, maybe, no one's perfect, basically.
Yeah,
and that
sure.
everyone has flaws. And he was older than me.
Some of these things.
I can accept some of these things. And
what else did he say on, like, while you were at the bar?
When he had legal troubles, had to come across the country to New York. I was in New York then. And he couldn't fly. And so he
couldn't fly?
No. So he drove. And there are very key things I truly cannot say.
Sure.
Like,
okay.
So he drove. And then as he was driving, he was like, I love getting on apps and finding women who were married. So we just have like quick one night stands. I would go through the country and do that.
Okay.
So I was like,
I mean,
my mental
Mariah,
health.
I'm just saying, you went to 3 locations with a man who said, I have legal troubles. And on my way to solve those legal troubles, I fucked married women across the country and then the end goal is to settle my legal troubles. But okay, let's go to the 3rd location.
The 3rd location is his home. And we're in Manhattan and we're in like, it is upper town, but I said upper town like I didn't live there. I was like uptown, but upper.
I liked
uptown.
It. I was like upper town.
Stupid.
Upper town,
New York.
I was like, where was this upper town?
Upper town. But he lives alone in a 3-bedroom apartment.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay.
Doing
well. Walk in. Everything is pristine. But he has red leather couches. And I'm like, okay. So then.
How red? Are we talking like fire engine red or like burgundy?
Closer to fire engine, but not as bright.
Yuck.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's like one of those sets you get at like Bob's Discount.
Sure.
It's, the couch, the love seat, the chair type situation.
Okay.
So he also, what I realized, is very organized. And he was like, do you want a glass of wine? And I'm like, sure. I don't drink red, but he only had red. So I was like,
of
okay.
Course, red couches, red wine.
Yeah. But he was like, I don't really drink wine, so I don't know how to open this. And so I tried to open the wine bottle. And for whatever reason, and this is the first and last time this has happened to me, it was red wine. It like splattered on the wall. And this man, again, very particular and white walls. He got very upset and I had to clean the walls. I as I'm repeating this, I haven't told this story in a while. And I can't stress enough, I was in my early 20s.
So he was like, you made a mess, clean it up.
Clean it up. And so I was like, okay. So after I clean the walls, we go to his couch and, I was like, oh, what's going to happen? And he was like, I want to show you my favorite show. And I was like, okay. And so then we watched an episode of Archer. And I was like, all right, cool. So then, still I'm like, I'll still maybe like hook up with him or something. I made it this far. And then when I when I got in my right mind, I was like, I'm not going to have sex with this man. I excused myself. He then, and for some reason I was like, I hope he still likes me. Like that. I'm truly deranged. I was really hoping. Then the next day or like a couple of days later, he texted me and he was like, yeah, I don't think we're compatible. You want something more serious than I can give you. And I was like, okay, great. Good to know.
What a wild, that is a wild date.
Yeah, but I wish I could say I made better choices after that. But I truly got a massage the other day because I had ClassPass points, and it was this random place in the Valley. It looked normal. I walk in, and it's like one of those warehouses that have multiple little things.
Yeah.
And it's this man, and I thought it was like a business. I get into a room smaller than this, like half this size. It's only one massage table, just this man and his tools. And he like was doing like wanted to like it was like very deep tissue, sort of sports like type of massage. Before the massage, he's on bended knee talking to me like this for an hour and a half about the tissue and your body and how important massaging is and like how he gets into things and like how it connects with the mind and brain. Again, I love massages. First thing you should know.
An hour and a half.
And the time was flying because I was like, I just want him to give me my massage and I'm alone in this room with him and I don't want to leave.
Yeah.
So then finally, he excuses himself. I get undressed for the massage. I'm on the massage table. He's using different tools and he was like, I need you to breathe deep. You know, like sometimes on a massage, I want you to breathe to like get the tension out. And he was like, you're not breathing hard enough or loud enough. You need to breathe louder for the people in the other room to hear you. And so he was like, like he was trying to tell me how hard to like breathe. And I was like, I just wanted to keep doing it so he would not tell me to keep doing it, basically, you know? And then I left and I tipped him, of course. I understand I sound like a lunatic. And I do have my wits about me. I do. I promise you. It's just in certain situations, they go out of the window.
I feel you on this. I've been in very strange circumstances where I'm like, I should leave. And I don't. I stay and it's weird and it is what it is.
And I can't help. And then I look back on it and as I retell it, I'm like, my parents raised me so much better. So much better.
I was raised with just a little bit of sense and I don't know where it's gone.
Truly, baby.
So funny. How long did this massage, was it like a 2-hour massage?
It was only 60 minutes. And usually I do minimum 90 minutes. I love a 2-hour. And like the 60 minutes was already, it was basically like a hint of a massage for me. And so for it to be that type of experience for only 60 minutes, I could have just had my points cross over to the next month.
Yes. Wait, what is ClassPass? People talk about it, and I don't know what it is.
I used to hate it. And when I lived in New York, I had it, and I hated it.
How long did you live in New York?
10 years.
Oh, okay.
And I, like, never used it. I was always missing classes. It was just, like, didn't work well for me. And then when earlier this year, I started doing Pilates. And I was like, I don't want to go to one studio or do one X, Y, and Z. And I realized on ClassPass, you can go to a Pilates class for, like, 8 points or like 6 points or whatever. And it's only $89 a month to go to all these other things. I can do that. I can go to Barry's. I can go to Boonda. I can do whatever. And it's like I use it as a supplement to like my full workouts. You know? I love it. And you can get facials, massages. Actually good ones.
Maybe I should get into, it's called ClassPass?
ClassPass. I'll send you a code.
Yeah, send me a code for ClassPass. I don't really do classes.
I really hate them. And I can only stomach like Barry's. I like how it feels after, but I hate that type of instructor. Pilates, I love it because I can't really see the instructor. They're just like walking around talking. It feels like you're in your own little world, but I can't do what I used to do in New York where it's like a dance fitness class and you're just like up and like that type of thing. That would drive me crazy.
I simply can't. I once did a Zumba class where the teacher kept dancing right next to me. My friend was like, she doesn't ever do that. And I was like, I'll never get it. Leave me alone. Just leave me alone. And then I used to do pole classes. Now I do private sessions because it's tailored to me.
I love a private session.
Right?
And that's how I started doing Pilates. I started with private sessions before I did any classes. So I was like, I've never done a reformer.
What's
I
a
don't know what
reformer?
It's the
That's the machine?
I'd never done it. I've never even taken a yoga class or Pilates class on a mat. So truly had no idea what I was doing. It helped so much. I took 3 privates, then jumped into classes.
Oh.
I also did that with lifting. I start now my new thing is every new like exercise I want to try, I do a private.
Well, I think that's like helpful because you kind of learn how your body works for things. Like the last pole class I took, I was like, oh, do you have like an adjustment for this move? And she was like, no, just do it. And I was like, cool. Okay. So then I knew in my brain, I was like, in order for me to do it, I have to figure out the adjustment. And that like sucks. It sucks when someone's like, just do it. And you're like,
I hate that. Because then I'm like, I'm not going to do it.
No.
I'm true. And I can't imagine on a pole, I'm not going to do it.
No.
Like, absolutely not. That is hard.
Pole is very hard.
How do you handle going upside down?
Well, thank you for asking. I've just really gotten into it. It is hard. And you kind of just have to, when you are upside down, you're like, all right, there is a finite amount of time for me to set into the move or come down. Because I can't hold it for super long. Some people can. But I can do a crucifix, which is you're holding the pole upside down with your knees and your arms go out. I can do an inside leg hang, which hurts.
Because that's like when it's one leg.
It's one leg over the pole, and then your other leg is going backwards, and then you're holding it with, the pole is like that through your leg, and then your arm has to grip the pole, so there's like 3 points. And I'm learning how to do leg switches, and oh my God, my side
the coordination.
Is all bruised.
I was going to say, is your body literally like insane?
My body is bruised on one side.
But how do you even it out then?
You have to do both sides. And my teacher's always like, we got to do both sides, and I'm always like, leave me alone.
That is hard.
It's Mariah. You have no idea. And I don't know why I love it so much.
Because it's like when you get that's why I feel like lifting. It's like when you have progression, it's addicting. Even though it is hateful in the moment. There you go. You got it.
Oh, my body. I had pole on Sunday and I'm still reeling from it. Because I had to go to my friend's adult tap recital, the Tapitalists. There was a monster who came to town, and that was the whole the whole storyline. It was really wild, and I loved it.
Okay.
But we only had an hour. Usually we'd go for 2. And she was like, all right, well, we're working on upside down, so we'll just go upside down for the hour.
No.
And I had to invert, 10 times, and I was exhausted
and probably delirious because your body keeping to going up and down. Like I have POTS and I could never.
I have PANS. What's POTS?
POTS is like, I don't know the actual postural or it's basically when your blood constricts and I get dizzy very easily and I faint.
Oh no.
And so going upside down, I truly can't. I can't get up too quick or else I'm liable to pass out.
That's so scary.
It's fine.
Is it?
Yeah. I mean, I think TikTok because it taught me what it was.
Oh, TikTok and Instagram, they be teaching.
Because I was like, I've been fainting since I was 6. And the first time was at a funeral and my family and doctors thought it was just shock.
Mm-hmm.
And then kept happening. I faint at least once a year. I know if it's been 364 days, I'm like, oh, Jesus, I'm about to faint tomorrow. Because I know.
And do you know you're about to faint?
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
So you can be like, I'm going to faint.
Yes.
Oh.
And but then I was like, every doctor I went to, and I've seen so many doctors, and they're like, you just need smelling salts. And it's I don't just need smelling salts.
There's something else going on.
Something else happening.
Something's afoot.
But then I heard about POTS. I was like, I have every one of those symptoms. And I went to my doctor and we did some tests and they were like, oh yeah, when you stand up, your blood, it's supposed to, I think, go to your head or something.
Mm-hmm.
And mine pools in my abdomen. So I don't get blood flow further up. And then I just get dizzy. So I just have to be careful.
That is so wild that you had to go online, watch videos and be like, this is what's wrong with me. And then a doctor went, yes, that is what's wrong with you.
And I truly don't even know much about it because I'm they're just oh yeah, they don't, and doctors don't call it POTS a lot of the times. That's it's a term for it, but it's an umbrella for a lot of stuff. But I'm like, mine is by no means as drastic as many other people's. Like, I just am very used to it because I've been living my life like this all day. I'm like, everyone doesn't get dizzy when they stand up. Everyone doesn't go black when they stand up. And I was like, oh, okay, fun.
It is fun to figure out what's wrong with you. I have type 2 diabetes. Yay! She did it!
Yay!
And all of my diabetic symptoms I thought were just, that's the way my body is. And since being on medication for it, I was like, oh, that's how people been living. That's so nice. Because I would get like super thirsty or I peed so much. Wow. And then I can't describe how my body felt internally other than like I had tingles a lot.
Ooh.
Like I was very tingly all the time and would get like sick to my stomach a lot. And I just like wouldn't feel good.
And what tipped it? Like when were you like, what's going on?
Okay. Well, I went to the gynecologist.
Okay, good for you.
And she did my blood pressure. And she was like, it was like 200 over something. And she was like, do you see spots? Do you have a headache? And I was like, no. And then she was like, because if you had any of those things, I'd send you to the ER. And I was like, oh my God, it's an emergency. And then I lived like that for 2 more years. And then I fell down my stairs in 2020 and I broke my ankle and was at the ER and then went to the orthopedic surgeon. They did my blood pressure and they were like, we cannot operate on you with this high of blood pressure. And I was like, ugh, rats, I have to walk. So then I went to a general practitioner or whatever, and she put me on, we did like a bunch of tests, and she was like, you have high cholesterol and you have high blood pressure, so let's get all those in check. And then she was like, and your AC1 or whatever is in diabetic range. Like, it's very high. And I was like, whoa, what? So then she put me on metformin.
Yes.
And all of it went away. And I was like, ugh, I was seeing spots.
Yeah.
I did have a headache.
Isn't it great being black?
It's fun.
Well,
I will say it is my fault because that gynecologist, her name is Rebecca Brown. She was my favorite. She has since left the practice. And I really miss you, Rebecca. Aww. But I really loved her. She was so nice to me. And then like checked in on me. Like
That's great.
Like she was really like, she was like, have you gotten this under control? And I was like, bitch, no.
Leave me alone. I love you.
No. And then when I finally did, I was like, oh, yeah, here you go. Yeah. And then before I got on birth control, she was like, you told me that your mother died of deep vein thrombosis, so I need you to get some tests done to make sure that you are not predisposed to blood clots before I figure out what to prescribe you. And I loved her so much because no other doctor had taken such care.
Yeah.
And like made sure that like my family history came into play and stuff, because I think some doctors are like, you're fat.
And that's it. Yep.
That's it. Lose weight. I don't, whatever. But like, she really made sure to be like, some stuff you can't help.
That is so, my mind is blown because my dad died of deep vein thrombosis after a stroke. And he had type 2 diabetes. And he was like, doctors weren't helping him get it under control. And he had like stressful job. It was during, 2021. And so then after that, I was like, let me go to the doctor.
Yeah.
And I realized I was like, I need to like get ahead of basically my family's health history, and truly just being Black in America and not being predisposed to high blood pressure, type 2. And so I got on Mounjaro and I never looked back. And now
I'm also on Mounjaro.
It's my favorite thing in the world.
I like it, but I'm like, will I be part of a class action lawsuit in 10 years? Probably.
I don't care. But I'm like, I truly am like, it is the best thing in the world. Expensive as the dickens, but it's great.
Does your insurance doesn't cover it?
Because I'm not diabetic.
Oh,
and so it's like
I see.
But I'm like, I need this so I don't become diabetic.
Yes.
Because my body, that's what it wants to do. So.
Yeah, I once went to the doctor. I had been away for a week, so I hadn't taken it. And she was like, your numbers are bad. And I was like, what? I was like, just a week not taking this? Oh, okay.
Like, let's get to it. I mean, it is, and I also just got off metformin because I was on that too. I think it's a miracle drug. It's like the fountain of youth, they say.
What, Mounjaro?
Metformin.
Oh,
It, like,
metformin.
for so many things, they're like, it for whatever reason, now I sound like a woohoo person on TikTok.
I love it.
But it, like, changes you from the inside out.
Oh.
It, like, really reworks whatever, which is why I loved being on it. But then it started making me feel sick again, and I was like, I can't do this.
Interesting. Metformin doesn't make me feel sick. I'm just on so much stuff right now.
Me too. I love a med.
Real quick, we gotta take a break. Today's episode is brought to you by Alma. Look, I get it. Finding a therapist can be tricky. Maybe you've searched online for hours and had to call around, or maybe you found someone great only to realize they don't take your insurance. It can be exhausting. But Alma makes it easy. Alma has a diverse network of over 20,000 licensed therapists nationwide, and their online directory lets you filter exactly what you need, whether it's a therapist who shares your background, specializes in certain areas, or just vibes with you. And yes, they actually take your insurance. People who use Alma to find therapists save an average of 77% on their therapy costs when booking in-network. Alma believes human connection is key to good mental health care. You can even schedule free 15-minute consultations with as many therapists as you want until you find someone who really gets you. Plus, 97% of people who see a therapist through Alma say their therapist truly makes them feel seen and heard. Better with people, better with Alma. Visit helloalma.com/dateme to get started and schedule a free consultation today. That's helloalma.com/DATEME. Today's episode is brought to you by ZocDoc. Okay, be honest. Have you ever needed to see a doctor but kept putting it off? You know, saying things like, I'm too busy, it'll probably heal itself. Or my favorite, I don't even know what kind of doctor I need. We've all been there, and Googling weird symptoms definitely isn't the answer. Thankfully, ZocDoc makes finding a great doctor easy, quick, and stress-free. It's a free app where you can search and compare thousands of high-quality in-network doctors and instantly book your appointment. No more calling around or waiting 6 months for the next available opening. You can find doctors across every specialty: primary care, dentist, therapist, dermatologist, you name it. And you'll typically have your appointment within 24 to 72 hours. Sometimes even same-day appointments pop up. Stop putting it off and take care of yourself. Go to ZocDoc.com/dateme. That's ZocDoc.com/dateme. ZocDoc.com/dateme. Boop, 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 boop. We're back. Did you lose weight on Mounjaro?
I did.
May I ask how much?
It's so crazy when I say this because I can't believe it and my family can't. 100 pounds.
That's great.
And I'm
wild.
like, I still want to lose more, but I don't know.
I lost 90.
Isn't it crazy?
It is crazy that there was 90 extra pounds on me. And also, it was, okay, did you ever look in the mirror and go, I don't know who this person is?
Not yet.
Okay.
Kind of. Well, I don't know, because I'm like, it felt, to me, I still feel like I look the exact same. So I don't know what's wrong with me in that regard. So I think that that's a me issue and not a issue that many others are having.
Interesting. I once woke up and I was like, I don't know who she is. I don't know. She looks different.
Wow. And what was that like for you?
It felt weird. I was like, I'd have to get used to this person.
Yeah.
And for a hot second, I was like, I don't know if I like her. She looks weird. And I missed my bigger butt.
Really?
I just missed things. Yes.
Wow.
And because I don't know. I liked the way I looked.
Yeah.
I liked having a bigger butt. I liked the way that my titties were tiny, my butt was big. It was really very much pear-shaped. And then I liked my double chin being more prominent because I thought I looked more cherub-like.
Yeah. Oh my God. The thing is, you have always looked like an actual doll. So I think that's part of the thing, but that's not going to go away.
Yeah. And that was the thing I had to get with. To be like, oh, I am still me.
Right.
I just look a little different.
Right.
And then I stopped posting pictures of my body so much because I was like, I don't want my body to be a point of discussion. And I don't want to hear congratulations because it was like, oh, I have diabetes.
Yeah, like this is not like wired like yay. No, someone and in my DMs, they were like, I just posted a photo and they were like, look at the glow up. And I was like,
that's tough to hear. The glow up? Because it's like, I thought I was cute before.
And my sister Lauren always would say, and this is true, she's like, a bad bitch is a bad bitch no matter what
that's
they
what I
weigh.
think.
And I'm like, I have, regardless of my dating history for the past whatever, I'm a little cutie. I can, I'm like, the face was always going to be there.
The face was always facing.
So no matter what.
That's how I felt. And I didn't have trouble fucking.
Well, I do.
Oh.
Yeah. They don't like me out here.
I'm sorry. Do you find dating was easier in New York?
Yes.
Yeah.
A lot, but I wasn't taking it as seriously.
Same.
And so that's the issue.
Same. When I was in New York, it wasn't like, oh, I'd like to be partnered. I was like, who am I going to fuck tonight?
You're just like, I'm just literally out in Brooklyn till 5 a.m.
Yes.
Doing God knows what. And so in hindsight, I'm like, oh, but now I can't go back.
No,
here.
No, not at all. You know what's interesting about losing weight and exercise?
Yes.
It does make the exercise easy, or not easy, easier, which is annoying because when you're fatter, they're like, just exercise. And you're like, but it's hard. But it's so hard.
And now it's like,
okay, things are a little easier. But
now
also,
I actually love exercising.
I'm not there yet.
And I truly never thought I would. And I used to, there were times in my past, when I lived in New York, where I would go to Crunch all the time and do those stupid little classes. And now my whole week revolves around my lifting schedule and Pilates.
Oh.
That's it.
Oh, I'm simply not there yet. I do these, I've talked about it before, but I do these 30-minute workouts with this man named Daniel, who's a part of the Body Project. I don't know. It's like a bigger thing that I'm not. I just do the free videos that are on YouTube. I don't do them with his wife. I don't like her. She goes too fast and she doesn't tell me I'm doing a good job. But Daniel will tell me I'm doing a good job.
I love that.
And he's like, sit down if you want. He's from Australia or somewhere.
I feel like I've heard of it before.
I mean, I love it. And I was like, okay, if I do 30 minutes a day, that's more than not doing it. I can commit to 30 minutes, but I'll put it off for the longest because I just hate it. And then he's always like, do you feel better? And I'm like, yeah, I guess I do. Yeah, begrudgingly, I do.
And I'm going to speak to you like someone I hate.
Yes, give it to me.
That's why it's best to do it in the morning. It's truly, and I will say, my sister's, our radio show is from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. We're live 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. I'm not a morning person. So I'm already up. I may as well.
Is this from home or do you have to drive somewhere?
From home, thank God.
My
and
God.
I'm like, I may as well just get it done. And I realize when I don't simply just go after our show, it's harder for me to I still want to go, but it's harder for me to be like, okay, let's just go do it. And I have less energy to do it. But I truly never in my life, even when I thought I enjoyed working out, thought I would enjoy working out.
I simply don't. But I do love pole. And I think the key is finding something you love.
Yeah.
Wait, have you ever met anyone at the gym?
No, because I take these...
Oh, because you do privates.
Well, I was doing privates. Then I am in these, up until last week, small... women, it's this woman lifting trainer. It's 6 people a session at her house in Encino outside.
Oh.
And it's amazing. But now I just needed to change for a variety of reasons that may or may not have included the election.
Oh, okay.
But
well then. Yeah. But do you think you would ever approach anyone at the gym?
No.
Why?
Personally, for me, I don't want to be bothered. So I'm like, why then would I bother someone else?
I get that.
I'm not in that headspace. Maybe right as I'm entering or
departing.
But as it's happening, I'm too focused on what I need to get done. And I don't want to lose momentum. And I just got to keep it going.
Wow.
That's also probably why I'm not single, too. I don't approach people.
I mean, I don't really approach people either, but sometimes I do. Like, I really like to give a compliment. Like, oh my goodness, look at those pants.
And that's what they were off to the races.
Oh, look at those pants.
Your life has changed.
Oh, I like those pants. Wait, so you're on the apps currently.
Yeah.
Have you had any good dates from the apps?
No.
Huh.
No. Not a single good one. Like, pleasant.
Okay. What do you mean by pleasant? Like,
they're a nice enough person. Like, you can hold a conversation with them, but no one who is like, oh, like a connection type of thing. Or it's just weird.
Fair. I went on a string of like weird bad dates. It was like a solid 3-month span where I was like, everybody's bad. Like, I keep getting into my car and calling somebody being like, this happened. And they'd be like, it's not that bad. I'm like, yeah, but like, ugh.
It's just weird.
Yes, they're just being weird and just like not fun.
Right.
Or they'll suggest like a bad place to go. And I'm like, whatever, I guess I'll go here.
I truly, and I'm someone who like, I don't like to be go out of my way, especially if it's for someone on an app. I'm like, I need it to be the most convenient thing.
Yeah.
And it has to make complete sense. I'm like, I have more things to do. Again, even if that's just sitting on my couch watching Gibbs on NCIS. Like, that's important to me.
Yes.
That is important to my health and wellness. Like, I will cancel anything to do that.
To sit on the couch. Wait, tell me about another date you've been on. I don't think your nails
look
that
awful.
bad.
They're bad because
they're not
like,
bad. They're not smooth.
They're not smooth.
But that's okay.
I know, and it's hard gel.
And it's iridescent. So
yeah,
do you have a little thing?
I don't have that yet. I just started my hard gel journey at home. And we're going to get better. I did them last night, and then I did them again this morning.
Oh.
After my show at 7 a.m., I was like, I can't look at these anymore, the ones last night.
What time do you go to sleep?
I try to be asleep by 10:30, and sometimes it doesn't work. But in an ideal world, and I say 10:30 so I can be a functioning member of like grown-up society.
Sure.
In an ideal world, I'd be in bed by 8.
8? That's so early.
I love the bed, I love the couch, and I love the sleep.
I love sleeping too. I love sleeping during the day.
I do. I love a nap. I love a nap. And I have this Oura ring.
I love waking up at noon.
I wish I could wake up at noon now.
Well, you can't. You got to work at 6 fucking a.m.
But even when the other day we didn't have the show, and my body naturally woke me up at 5:30 in the morning. I wanted to catapult myself out of the window, and I couldn't go back to sleep. Could not go back to sleep.
Do you wear an eye mask?
Oh, God, I have it all. I have an eye mask. I have a weighted blanket. I have...
Wait, and you couldn't go back to sleep with all that?
No, because my brain was just racing.
See, when it's the day, my brain goes, there's a lot of stuff going on. You better get back to sleep. You better stay away from the world.
Here's the thing. Don't play with me in a good old nap. I will fall asleep at 11 a.m. till 3 p.m. But sometimes I just got to be like, call it a day at 8:30, see what's doing on YouTube, and get my behind to bed.
That's so funny. I can't do that. I'm up till 1, 2, 3, just finding things to do.
That's my preference.
Gotta fold the laundry. It's 3 a.m.
I wish. That's my preference. And that's who I am at my core. But the way my job is set up right now, unfortunately, it's boxed me into a corner.
I'm so sorry. God bless.
Thank you.
Wait, tell me about another date you've been on.
Let me see. I'm trying to think of one that's like not insane.
I want insane, unless it's traumatic for you.
No, I think no. Nothing. I really can't find trauma in many things now since experiencing the death of a parent.
It's tough.
I'm like, I truly, a date. I'm trying to think of a date. Oh God. When I first moved to LA, before I moved here, and I really I can't stress enough, I have good judgment. I do.
Okay.
I just want to preface this by saying I have good judgment.
I can't wait.
So before I moved to LA, I was on, I don't know how I met this guy. I think I was on some dating app. It had to have been. And I was like searching, I was looking in LA because I was like about to be there the next week. And we matched and then we started talking. He seemed like nice, normal, into the same things. And I remember, and this is again, first red flag, we were like, since I'm not there, we didn't even FaceTime. We talked on the phone.
Okay.
We were talking on the phone. We talked on the phone for 5 hours. And I was like, oh, this guy seems like great, amazing.
5 hours.
Get to LA. We have a date. And I wish I remembered where it was because like I didn't have my bearings about this city. And I truly wish. It was like some jazz place, I think.
Oh, no, I simply would say no.
It was, but I didn't know what I did not know.
Sure. Okay.
So we go to this jazz place and he had been telling me that he was not really employed, but like working for I think what he said was a quarter at his mom's theater, like as a performer.
Okay.
And he was just doing that as like he had some reason, but why it had to be a quarter. I don't really.
A quarter?
It was like some theater in Glendale, like
wait,
something.
He was working as a quarter?
No, for a quarter, like as payment.
One singular
quarter for like it was like that was his like the.
I love that
change.
you said that so casually, like it was a thing. He was working for a quarter, and his mom owned the theater, and I'm like, okay.
I'm like because I'm trying to get okay. So we went on that date. Again, stupid. I just moved to my apartment and it wasn't really furnished. I was like, oh, let's just go back to my apartment, get a bottle of tequila, go back to my apartment. We get there and he proceeds to show me, he's a white guy. He shows me, he was like, you look exactly like my ex-girlfriend. And it was like this, we didn't look alike at all. She was black. It was a black girl.
It was just another black person.
It was just another black person.
He's like, you guys are twins. You must be related.
Yes.
What would you do if he showed you your sister, like one of your sisters?
I kind of would have kept it going just far enough to be able to make fun of him the next day. Because I'm like, if you dated one of my sisters, you know exactly who I am. That's the first thing we talk about is each other. So then he was like, reminding me about he was telling me how I looked like her. Showed me the photo and then was like, yeah, we were together for a long time, da-da-da. She was amazing in bed. Like, I wonder if you'll be as good as her in bed. And I was like,
ew.
And so then he starts crying about his ex-girlfriend and about how much he loved her and loves her, but thinks that he could love me as much as he loved her or loves her. And when I was like, I think, you should leave.
Yeah.
He was like, I don't understand why. Like, what's wrong with like a man showing emotion? I was like, it's not you showing emotion. It's what the emotion is about. That's what that is.
That's wild.
It was so, and again, that was like I think the second night I officially lived in LA.
He was like, welcome to LA. Everyone's a freak.
Everyone is a freak. And so the best part about this guy is he was obviously wayward. And he decided that the best thing for him was to go teach English abroad. And he had a blog about it. It was one of the craziest things. He like lived off peaches for a month. It was very weird. And I'm like, thank the good Lord I didn't even take this. I didn't even give
Did you
him...
you found the blog after?
After.
Okay.
They had already gone to where he went.
Oh my God. I can't imagine A, someone crying on the first date.
Yeah.
B, about their ex-girlfriend.
Who looked like me.
My God. And I think it's wild that he showed you a picture of her. That's unhinged. That's wild. God bless. Oh my God. Mariah.
So, yeah. That's why I think dating in LA for me is also like I'm still quite unsteady because no one I've met feels regular. Like they know it's just like something, and I wondered about myself. I'm like, have I become warped in the brain? And is that what people are thinking about me as well? Because like I just don't know.
I don't know either. But I think there's somebody out there for you.
We'll see.
We'll see. No, I definitely do.
Okay, I take it in. I receive it.
Yeah, receive
it.
Boy, oh boy. I'm really stuck on this man crying on a first date. I've had a man cry on a date, and I was like, oh, no.
It's just jarring when someone shows that type of, like, emotion in a way that's not about you.
Yeah.
And that's not joyous. Like, it just is.
Yeah, I mean, I do think we should be in a relationship before you start crying at me.
That is I think that, and that's honestly not a lot to ask.
Nah, just a little bit of a commitment before you boo-hoo-hoo.
I'm not even crying in front of my dog, God rest his soul, because I'm too nervous about it. Like, why would I cry in front of a stranger on a date?
Yeah, that's wild. I've only cried on one date, and that was going to the Sonic the Hedgehog themed cafe.
And what got you?
I love Sonic.
Oh.
But truly, it was like in an old sunglass hut.
Okay.
It was not like, it was not as big and as grand as I thought it was going to be, but I was just so excited to be there that I was just like, tears of joy streamed down my face. I was so fucking excited.
And how'd your date receive it?
You know, he was like, he said, I hope one day I love something as much as you love Sonic.
I love that.
I love it. Wait, Mariah, do you have any advice for single people?
I would say be more vulnerable than you think you should be. Which I have yet to do, but I know is like what's holding me back. And so that is probably the biggest piece of advice. And treat it like a job, which I'm going to start doing in the new year. Like, that's what I felt like that's what I feel like I need to be doing. One of my friends, I met her boyfriend that she met on the apps, and she was like, it took a while, but she said bare minimum go on 2 dates a month. But then I knew one friend who met her husband. She would go, I think and this only lasted a month, I believe. For like 3 days of the week, she would go on 3 dates a night. So it'd be drinks, snacks, and then dessert. But met her husband within a month.
Wait, she was going on 3 dates a week or 3 dates
3
in a
dates
day?
a night for like 3. She was like trying to like get all, like she was trying to do something different and be like, I just need to date more, and committed to doing like an aggressive amount of dating, and it paid off tenfold.
That's a lot of dating.
As we know, I go to bed early and I love being on my couch.
Yes.
That is not the system for me.
No.
That is not. So
2 dates a month, I think, is good for you.
2 dates a month is really good for me.
Mariah, I could talk to you all day.
Same here.
Do you have anything you want to promote?
Just my little radio show with my sister, Smith Sisters Live on Radio Andy, Sirius XM, Channel 102, daily at 6 a.m. Pacific, 9 a.m. Eastern.
Wild. It's so early. Mariah, would you date me?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
I mean, your assistant could do both of our returns at the same time.
She really could. And that's a good way to utilize Lindsay. Wait, oh my God, I forgot to ask you about this. So we are at the end, but you got to cover the Steve Harvey show when you were an assistant you were working at Best Week Ever.
Yeah. I had to watch it every day, and it made me want to jump.
Wait, you just had to watch?
Because I was assistant at Best Week Ever, or PA at Best Week Ever, and we had to find clips for the show.
Oh.
And so it was like every PA had their sort of beat. I was Steve Harvey and Kardashians, and I truly had to watch Steve Harvey every day the Lord brought, just because it was that crazy that there was truly always something to be pulled for Best Week.
Was it just the Steve Harvey show, or was it also Family Feud?
Just the Steve Harvey show.
I would personally love that job. I love Steve Harvey. I love Steve
He's
Harvey.
a fascinating figure.
Have you done Family Feud?
No, my sister has.
Yes, with Lapkus, right?
Yeah.
He does stand up like in between, like he gives the audience a show. He is a showman. A showman? A showman.
I don't know how to say that because apparently I say it wrong.
A showman?
Because when I say the greatest showman, everyone says I'm saying it wrong.
Showman?
But it's not showman.
No.
That's stupid. Showman.
Showman. He's a showman.
Yeah.
He's a workhorse.
He is a workhorse.
He works and works and works. Like he's got a radio show, the Steve Harvey Show, Family Feud. It's wild. And he's got all them great suits.
Just the his dating POV, I can't get with.
It is a little archaic.
Yeah. But like, I do think he is a very successful and smart guy. Yes. And funny, obviously.
So funny. So wonderful. Well, we've come to the end.
Oh.
Mariah, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
If you like this episode of Why Won't You Date Me, you can like it, you can rate it, you can subscribe, give me 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. And if you write me something nasty hitting on me to whywontyoudatemepodcast@gmail.com, we are running low. I will read it. Nicole, let's recreate Jurassic Park. But instead of dinosaurs, it's just a bunch of horny dudes in dino suits chasing us. We'd hide under a table until they'd find us. Then I'd watch you ride that T-Rex until he forgets about eating lawyers and starts eating ... something else. We'll call it Jurassic Pork. Jurassic Pork really got me.
That's insane.
And I'll make sure we both go extinct, one orgasm at a time. Thank you. That's it. Bye-bye.
That was a HeadGum podcast.